Hi everyone. So today we are going to start review for the Unit 2 coding unit. And you should all have this review packet in front of you, but if not, it is posted on Schoology that you can download as a Word document or print it out, whatever's easier for you. So we are not going to do this entire packet today. We are going to split review into 2 days. But we are going to start right here, right off the bat, with just some vocab that we've talked about for the entire unit. So we have 7 different definitions here. And our first one is evaluate. And our definition of evaluate was to perform the computation to get an answer. All right, so we are performing the computation to get an answer. All right, we'll make this smaller so that you guys can see it. All right, now our definitions window. So again, here we're talking about WeScheme. And in WeScheme, our definitions window was where we define new functions. Right, and that was the left side of the screen. Okay. And then our interactions window, same kind of thing, except that was on the other side of the screen. So where we evaluate the function. Let's do this, where we evaluate expressions and test the definitions. And that is on the right side of the screen. Okay. Then our domain. So when we talk about domain and range, the domain were the inputs of the function, and that could be just one thing, it could be 4 things, it could be 3 things, whatever it is, but that's what we're putting into the function, where our range is what is coming out of the function, right? So that's our output or outputs. Most of the time that's only going to be one thing, but it could be more than one. But the main difference between domain and range is what's going in and what's coming out. All right. Our definition for a contract. Remember, contracts were those things that we wrote that told us information about our function. So it was a general way to state the name, domain, and range of a function. Right? And then our purpose statement, the point of a purpose statement, or the purpose of a purpose statement, is to describe what the function is supposed to do. So am I multiplying something by 3? Am I creating a solid blue circle of size 40? Am I inserting an image from the internet? Am I answering a yes or no question? What is the purpose of the function? That's what a purpose statement does. Okay. Number 2 says list at least 8 functions that we have used in this unit. And then a hint here is the addition sign is one example. So if we think about everything we've done in this unit, we have our standard operation, so plus, minus, multiply, which was the star, and divide, which was our slash. So those were our 4 things. We also have all those different shapes: circle, triangle, star, square. Okay. We had our scale function. We did and or. All of our inequalities, greater than, less than, equal to. Okay. We also had our bitmap URL, where we insert links from the internet. Line length, we came up with, think of all the different codes that we used for the video game. Line length, distance, collide, safe left, safe right, on screen. Okay, and again, these are not all of them. We're not going to list them all, but there was more. So these are just some of the functions that we've used in this unit. Okay. Number 3, list the 4 types of data. So we talked about 4 different types of data in this unit. Okay, we had NSIB to help us remember them. So the first one was number, second one is string, third one is image, and the last one that we talked about most recently, a Boolean. So those are our 4 different types of data. All right, then there's 5 parts to a design recipe. And our 5 parts to a design recipe, the first one is telling us the contract. What is the name of the function? What's the domain? What's the range? The second part of a contract after, or of our design recipe after a contract, was the purpose statement. Told us this function is supposed to blank, add 3, create a circle, whatever it may be. Then the next thing was an example. We always had 2 examples, right? Oops. We have 2 examples. So we had first example, second example, then the last thing right at the bottom of every design recipe where it's our general statement that I can do for anything is our definition. So these are the 5 parts of a design recipe. You will definitely want to know this for your test. Okay. All right, number 5. Number 5 says, use the contract to answer the following questions. So we have scale, number, image, image. Part A says, circle the name of the function being used. So our name is always between the semicolon and the colon. Letter B, put a box around the entire domain. The domain is between the colon and the arrow. So number, image is our domain. Letter C, underline the range, and the range is after the arrow. So scale is the name, my domain is number image, my range is image. All right. And number 6, given the code ellipse 180, outline purple, write the contract for this function. Remember, a contract generally describes the types of data used in the domain and range. So what's nice about this review packet is in number 5, what we just did, this right here is a contract. So if you're confused about what a contract should look like, this is what a contract looks like. And a contract always starts with a semicolon, always. The first thing is the name of the function, and the name of this function here is ellipse. It's the first thing we see in the code. After the name, we put a colon. Now, everything inside of this code here, this is the domain. So we need to figure out what type of data these things are. 180 should hopefully be easy to you. Those are numbers. So this is 2 numbers. So number, number. And then outline and purple are both statements that are in quotations. And anything that's in a quotation is a string. So this has 2 strings. Okay. After our domain comes our range. And in order to figure out what the range is, we have to understand what this function is doing. Now, an ellipse is a fancy oval. So this is creating a shape. And the only thing we have to describe shapes is an image. All right, so there's our contract. All right, so hopefully you have all of this written down. If not, pause the video here, make sure everything's down before you move on to number 7. So in number 7, we have 7 different codes here that we're going to evaluate. So obviously, when you're taking your test, you will not have access to WeSchemes, so we need to understand what these functions are asking us and how to evaluate them. Okay, so with letter A, this says plus 4, divide 9, 3. Now we want to work from the inside out here. So the first thing we need to do is evaluate this piece. So this is saying 9 divided by 3. And 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. So this is really plus 4, 3. So this is asking us to add 4 and 3. So my answer here is 7. Okay. Letter B, or less than 9, 10, greater than 7, 18. So these two statements here, this is saying 9 is less than 10, and this one is saying 7 is greater than 18. So we got to think about this here. Anytime I see less than, greater than, equal to, those are true or false statements. So is 9 less than 10? Yes, so this is true. The second piece, is 7 greater than 18? Not 10, sorry. Is 7 greater than 18? No, so this is false. Now when we think about or, I only need one true statement to make the entire thing true. So since we have one true statement, this entire thing is true. Okay, letter C, and equals 25 square 5, less than 20 or less than 10, 20. So SQR, remember that's the square function. So 5 squared is equal to 25. So this piece in the inside here is asking me, is 25 equal to the square of 5? Which it is, because the square of 5 is 25. So this is and true. And this is asking me, is 10 less than 20? That's also true. So when we're working with the and function, I need 2 true statements. And since I have 2 true statements, this is also true. Letter D, square root, SQRT, square root. So the square root of 100 is equal to 10. So we're going to use 10 here. So this is really times 10, 2. So 10 times 2 is 20. Right? Square of 3, so 3 squared equals 9. So this is minus 15, 9. So we have 15 minus 9, which gives me 6. All right, line length. This is asking us how far apart these two numbers are. Find the distance. And remember, when we're finding the distance, we want to take the larger number first. So we're going to do larger number minus smaller number. So this is going to be 12 minus negative 4, which 12 plus 4, because the double negative there. So this is 16. Okay. Then the last one here, distance 0, 2, 4, 5. So what we're going to do is graph 2 points, 0, 2, and 4, 5. Okay. So why aren't you writing? Let's try again. All right. So 0, 2. And 4, 5. So really what we're doing here is creating that right triangle. So if we want to find the distance, whoops, that's not 5. Y'all probably looking at me like, what's she doing? 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Oh, right. So right triangle, distance. So this length is 3 and this length is 4. So if we want to find the distance, we're going to do 3 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 9 plus 16 equals c squared. This is 25. And in order to cancel the square, we take the square root. So C equals 5. Okay, so that's all we're going to do today for day 1. Make sure you have everything written down so that you have it to use on your test later this week. All right, have a great day, everyone.